In case you missed.
Yeah, I said it, the Unfiltered podcast. It was very weird because every time I would bring a girlfriend home, I would say, "This is not my girlfriend, this is my
Ke
friend."
chomyaka.
Ke chomyaka, and you know, tla itlhela ke dira di-sleepover. Like, go ba lesbian go monate. Take
You can be broke, but be broke there. Don't be broke up close and personal. Cause na maka, tla ba re, oh, o busy ka seratane. Don't have to go to the family.
But our support mainly is from strangers, people that we don't know, you know. People that you do know, one, either they want them free and they tell you, we will market you. Mostly, the youth are very nonchalant about getting the legalities into place in terms.
Bona ha ba chalant. Yo, use ha ba
This is
chalant.
a-
I feel like Facebook is like Tinder for like broke people.
Ooh.
Like growing up, like because of there was never like funerals, Malbino, ne? But we were told for albinos they just disappear. They don't die. Hunting. Sex stuff is not a problem. I think ovulation is the problem. You see, being a woman, because they're like there's ovulation week, there's PMS. Like, why can't I just be normal throughout the month?
But that don't mean you'll be a man, right?
Ew. Welcome to Pinky Pinky Show.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, said it.
Oh, she said it. She really said it.
Welcome to another interesting episode of Yeah, I Said It. This is your girl Pinky, and I'm with my side chicks. Yay! This is Cardiac, and we have our guest Lebogang.
Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to Yeah, I Said It. My name is Cardiac and Toraya Matlera, as you know. But I'm not alone. I'm always with my girl, Pinky. And today we've got a special guest. He goes by the name of Lebogang Mojanaka. I think he'll properly introduce himself. Lebogang, hi.
Hello, everyone. I think I'm just in my name is Lebogang Mojanaga.
Mhm.
Hey, guys, you know, to be honest, you guys are just funny. Just talking off the record. It's hard for me to concentrate. Anyway, I'm Lebogang Mojanaga. I'm from Taung, Northwest. Thank you so much for having me on the show.
Shout out,
Yeah,
shout out.
man.
Oh, thanks, Agua.
Yes,
Oh, I
speak-
bet. Oh, I
speak
bet. Oh,
away.
save the best for last. I get
just
it. I get
yes.
it.
I mean, like I said, you are our of the show. I just don't want to mention the name.
Yeah, for branding purposes, you know. But anyway, Lebogang, I just want you to kind of introduce yourself to the viewers. What do you do? What do people know you for? They call you the king of cool. Why is that? I want to know how that came about as well. Yeah, so just give us a brief explanation or intro about who you are.
So I'm from Taung, right? I'm from a small village called Dry Heights in Taung. I was raised there for a number of years. I studied at the University of the Free State in Bloemfontein. I studied integrated marketing communications and I started a company called Village Folk, right? So Village Folk, it's a events, a decor company that is based in Taung Northwest. I've been running it since 2019. But it also has events, right? I think we have about 3 events currently in Village Folk, right? The first one is Picnic in the Village, flagship event. Kadik would know. She's the, you know,
The flag?
no, the main star.
Oh.
Yes. Yeah, flag. Yes, yes, yes.
I'm the flag.
Flaca.
We flying you high.
Brand ambassador.
So she's like the main star
Mm.
of Picking the Village, which is our flagship event at Village Folk. It happens on an annual basis on the 26th of
And it's
December.
big now.
Yeah, it's quite a big event.
It's very
It's
big.
it's something that we've initially started it in the village where I'm based, but now it's based in the more central town. The target market is more of your cool kids, the affluent type of people, you
The
know?
bougie kids.
Yeah, the
Say
ones that
it.
actually go home during that time, you know? Because we find that our target market is not necessarily people that are from Taung or live in Taung. There are people from Joburg, I mean, that actually work in Joburg, are from Taung and come home at a particular time and expect a type of lifestyle
Standard.
event
That
that they're used to, accustomed
accommodates
to.
them.
Yeah, so that's the type of event.
But
That we
oh,
have.
we look at my Was
Wait, wait, the target market thinking. Give me about put it any khakis. Put it.
not as a booty. Boozy. Boozy.
I didn't say anything, but yes, something towards that line. I'm not gonna offend anyone. Off the topic,
No, it's a
we
compliment.
were talking about tribalistic notions, but
Yeah.
anyway, I will not engage in such.
In boozies.
Yeah. So level starting a business, né? As a young person starting a business, how was that challenge? Especially being black, coming from the village and starting something that people in the village are not really accustomed to, a lifestyle company that's bougie.
Oh, you do mention bougie a lot. Noted,
It is
cardiac.
bougie.
Yes, yes.
It
And
is.
there's
It's
a fourth or fifth
like
time mentioned the word.
Levels company is the type of company that you need to dress up for, you need to look good for, you need to smell good for. Because you never know who you're gonna meet in that place. For real. Like you can't just walk
You
into
can't just.
you can't walk into black tie event ya ga Lebogang Mojanaga and then like
Malona
like
black
your
tie.
his things are
Should I say something?
yeah.
Did you guys know that I'm coming today?
Yes.
Oh,
Oh, so am I not dressed appropriately?
Okay, you always dress like that. I have like the earrings, and a necklace. My skin is out.
you've done your research well, but I'm very particularly concerned about
But this is
the
where I said it,
results. Yeah.
Yeah, but basically how is that?
So when I started, right, completing obviously my schooling, and then I started working, but I did not find like a permanent job. It was very difficult for me to get a permanent job. I was partly based in Joburg for a number of years, and then I moved back home. When I moved back home, initially my parents wanted to start a guest house, right? And then we came into wanting to establish it, funding it, and all these things. And it was very difficult to get funding for the guest house, right? But in the meantime, I started analyzing the market and analyzing just the going back home and how things are and what I could do, what's the gap. So when I started Village Book, it was a matter of I did promotions when I was still in varsity,
Yeah.
right?
So that inspired
That
yeah.
inspired the events part.
Mm.
And then I studied marketing. That inspired the branding part of the company, right? And then I've got a very particular taste in interior design. That inspired the
Yeah.
decor
Yeah.
part. And bringing that all together established Village Vogue. So that's mostly my interests and my education level. You know what I mean? Into how I started Village Vogue. Yeah. So the only
Nice.
problem, like she said, is that it's in the village. People don't understand what you're doing.
But that could also work both ways. You understand? Like if you go to a place like Taung, I think that would make you stand out from other people that are in the same lane. Because yours, like a person would feel it's like you know when Steve Jobs says marketing is about values and the feeling that you
Yes.
have when you walk into a space. So I think for a person that comes from Taung, in all your life you don't get this feeling, and when you walk into a Lebogang Mojanaga establishment or a Village Vogue establishment, you kind of have that feeling. So now I don't think it's a bad thing that it's in Taung, because you're the only guy that kind of brings that feeling. Even though when people try to mimic you, they can't really get it right. I don't know if you get me.
I do. I do. Steve Jobs also said that the customer or client doesn't know what they want until you
Until
give
you
it
give it,
to them.
yes.
That's true.
That's also one of the things that I think when we offered Decor by Village Vogue, we saw a gap, in terms of the style and the type of detail that we put into the decor aspect. So for me, it was a matter of I analyzed the competitors and the people that were there at the time or the companies that were offering certain things at the time. I realized we could do something. I'm not going to say better, but we could do something different. Because offering a different product definitely targets a different market. You know what I mean? So for me, it was like, maybe let's start it in Taung, but let's also broaden it to
Well, you're not afraid
the
to introduce
northwestern
something
ones.
different.
I mean, but I always take risks. I
Mm.
always take risks on so many things. I find that I've always been someone that, what's the worst that could happen? The worst that someone could say is no. When you ask for funding, the worst that they could do is close the door on you. You can always knock on the next door. You know what I mean? So for me, it's like, I'm going to do it anyway. Whether I get a negative response, it's
Or
okay.
not.
The good thing is me getting a positive response. And you know what?
So how did you have you gotten funding from the government?
So yes, in terms of funding, yes, Village Vogue has gotten funding. We've applied to the NYDA when I started out, right?
Mm.
And it was quite a very long and getting positive relationship that we had with the NYDA, right? Because on a regular yearly basis, they'd come to Village Vogue, to our company, and advise us on what to do and give us some form of getting notes on how to apply for the next threshold. You know what I mean? And that was a good thing because they don't just give you whatever and just leave you at it. You know what I mean? They would go and say, no, 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 you need to do 1, 2, 3 in order for you to actually get on.
So
the
you
list
need
of-
So
to
they make
meet
you better.
certain criteria. as well.
Yes. Basically, when I started out, they give you a 10,000 Rand voucher, right? With this voucher, it's like you're able to buy something for your business that's going to remunerate or that's going to bring in more, could just make the business better in terms of that, you know? So when I started, it was like, okay, but I do events. Let's start with buying these umbrellas that I can rent out on a regular basis, right? And those umbrellas each cost like 2.5, and I bought those. And that was good for my business, right? And then the next year, I bought I think it was a full waterproof stretch tent. I think it was about 40 or 50,000. And the next threshold is 100,000. The only problem is that they peak at 34. Once you reach 34, they no longer fund
34,000.
you. Yeah, 34 age.
Oh, the
Oh.
age.
I'm old.
Oh, it's
Oh.
NYDA.
NYDA. The Y is caps, eh? Capital Y.
Yeah.
It's crazy how we have like a youth person in parliament who's not even a youth person. That will sink in as
After the episode.
after.
Yeah. Okay. Back to funding. Can we carry on?
Yeah.
Okay. Back to funding. You saying age is a factor? Is what is NYDA still doing funding right now? And if somebody wants to start a business, how do they go about approaching the NYDA?
So back to funding, right? Let's also broaden that. NYDA is not the only funding institution in South Africa. I think we must just get,
I think that is the most
you know what I mean?
obvious
It's
one.
just that it's a youth development agency. So which means that it funds
Youth.
the youth. But there's also other funding institutions that are there, you know, that if you're beyond the youth, you can still apply for your business. But I must say that, guys, it's not easy to get funding. It's not an overnight thing for you to get funding,
Yeah.
you know? You're not just going to wake up and say, apply today, and then you get the funding tomorrow. It can take literally a year for that to get, because there are red tapes, there are procedures, there are, legalities that you guys need to go through and all these things. And unfortunately, government works like that. You know what I mean? Another thing is that the youth, they are not fully compliant and registered in their businesses.
Yeah, they're
True.
not.
You know what I mean?
We start businesses for
Yeah.
For the
then-
vibes.
and it's unfortunate that the government, in order for them to fund you, you need to be compliant because they need to have a record of you at SARS to prove that you'll be paying your SARS, your tax returns and all these things. That's why, you know what I mean? So I find that mostly the youth are very nonchalant about getting the legalities into place in terms.
One have a challenge. Yo, use have a challenge.
Okay.
There's no challenge. Have a challenge. Yo, use a high challenge because nakala tlhaloganye. Yeah, they're so nonchalant.
Okay, I think that's an inside joke. That is, you know what I mean?
But yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? So, just to carry on from there, right? There are other funding opportunities that are there.
Yeah.
Right? You've got the NEF, you've got CEDA, you've got CIFA, you've got banks, obviously, which are way more difficult for you to get funding for,
Because you're black.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Yes.
But doesn't BE apply in some of those
Rara.
situations?
At a bank.
BE banking.
You're
Yeah.
Please.
You
Kwenta go tlhaloganya how
Your
far you can
grandmother
stretch
doesn't
this
have
BE
land.
thing.
truly are ambitious. You know?
What are you ambitious?
I must say. So,
You're ambitious
You
to
know.
that Donald Trump. It's like way up there.
Yeah, okay.
you know.
Mm.
So yes, I would definitely encourage the youth to actually just get on Google and
Mm.
just look out for funding companies. You know,
Mm.
there's a lot.
An
There's
approach.
yes, of
Don't be
course.
afraid of the no.
Like I said,
Yeah,
Mm.
they know it's
the
painful.
worst that you could get is a no. It's a closed door. You can always open on the next. You knock on the next door for it to be open. It's as simple as that. You know?
Literally.
Yeah.
Okay. I wanted to talk about black parents while we're still in the topic of
Mm.
business. You went into business instead of 9 to 5.
Mm.
How was that with your parents?
I think because I have a history of family that has been in businesses,
Yeah.
you know, probably my experience with my parents would be different from another person, right?
Mm.
When I approached my parents to tell them that I want to go into business, they were not really keen, but they were very supportive because they've been into business as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's a matter of, listen, yeah, you could go
They
into
grew
a
up in
job,
business.
But
yes, but if this is what you want to do, definitely will support you. And I really must give props to my parents, both of them, to give me the support that I wanted in business. Unfortunately, they could not give me any funding support, you know, because they didn't have. But they gave me the tools to, you know,
This
to
is what
start.
you need to
This
look
is what-
out for, you
yes,
know?
and also the acumen because of their failed experiences. You know,
yeah.
to say that yes, listen, go this route, don't do that, don't do it, because you'll be committing the mistakes that we've committed as parents. You know what I mean? Or within. Yes, our businesses are not the same. The guys not really shop. When a shop is at a location in yeah, 20% chappies. Those are the shops that we had. You know?
Yeah.
And obviously my dad had a farm as well, or has a farm, and the farming aspect of the business as well, that's also part of it.
Mm.
You know, but I think in the more broader schemes of things, you could say it's farming. But the bank still will not farm.
If you know,
They won't
You
find. They won't find.
if there's
the
like a
farm.
if there's
brother,
a, you know, like
there's like I've always wanted to be a farm owner. Shout out.
So what like a WEE when you have a fund, when you want to
Eh,
get
go batla ga
funding from.
WW.
no, she's hinting that she just needs something on the
How one get it?
Oh, I missed the joke, guys.
I said,
that
I'm a
don't
late
go
bloomer.
manifest. No, it's a mess up. Next time, get a go black tie. Okay, summer, you know,
okay.
it's a thing.
Okay.
Yeah, when you come to Black Tie event, yeah, label the picnic in the
So
village,
yeah,
come correct.
the other event that we actually should speak about is the black dinner, right?
Mm.
So the
Oh, black dinner. I've been calling it
yes.
wrong the whole time.
What what have you been
Black
saying?
dinner, okay.
Oh, black tie is black. Ooh, cha. You are not the
So
correct ambassador.
No, I'm not an ambassador for that one.
Hey, Kgwatsadi, you must know the entire business. O jang wena kgante? Even now, you they give you a meeting like no, give at Voros. No, you can't be picky. Is that Miss Smith?
it's the same thing, meat is meat.
Hey, Miss
Tara. You know what I mean? Nama ke nama. So yeah, and
Joke.
other people don't even eat meat. They don't even get the opportunity to get meat every day. And here you are
Dog.
improvising.
Cats as we speak. What hello hi? And then we know. Oh,
Okay.
Anyway, so yeah, so the black dinner, right? The black dinner started as a concept where I wanted to celebrate being black. I wanted people to know that we could celebrate ourselves without having white people to come wherever and to come say, "Oh no, yes, you're doing so well."
dog.
When do we ever start
Shut up,
celebrating
house.
ourselves and our strives, what you've achieved, you know, what you've gone through as black people, you know, and how long it takes you to actually start a business that is running? Because guys, some businesses are not even sustainable.
They're not.
Because we don't support each other. You know what I mean?
That's true. Especially
Eh,
like when you come from a place and you grew up with those people.
yes, of course, of course.
They can't just see you
I mean,
as
with our decor, our prices are more than the competitor prices in Tao.
Mm.
We did that deliberately because of the niche market that we realized that this is what we wanted, but also the style and the quality that we offer. You know what I mean? I always tell a person that regardless of what you might think, right? A table is a table, a chair is a chair. We all use a table and a chair. It's how you put it together.
Mm.
You know, do you understand? That makes
Yeah.
it different. So if you're gonna give me a picture of a certain company from Joburg, I won't mention who, right?
Mm.
And then you bring to Tao, and I give you a coat that you can get in Joburg, and you tell me, but you're in Tao, that you're not being fair. Why is the person in
That's the
Joburg
thing.
coating more? And I'm talking 10 times more. And you want me to be 10 times less only because
And
I'm
still
from
give you
Tao.
the standard.
But
that
you
you're
want me
looking
to
for.
give you the quality and the standard
Mm.
that the person in Joburg is offering.
They even want more.
And a table is a table, guys. The same table that we use, the same company uses the same table. The same chair that we use, the same company uses the same chair.
Mm.
You know what I mean? It's just how you put it together that makes it different.
It's like this quote. They keep on saying that. I don't know. It's like God saw that I was struggling, and then He gave me strangers to come and support me or help me. Like it's
Yeah, that is
literally,
deep.
it's literally always the
that's
case, especially
dope.
for Black
That
people.
is really deep. I'm taking
That's
that for
dope.
the day.
What
Yeah,
of the
but I mean,
day?
yeah, but
So
I
proud
mean,
of myself.
honestly speaking, my experience is that we yes, our support mainly, and I'm not gonna put it in percentages because I
Yeah.
wouldn't, right? But our support mainly is from strangers, people that we don't know,
Mm.
you know, people that you do know. One, either they want them free, and they tell you we will market you.
They want them free
Yeah,
on date.
yeah.
They'll never pay.
Baba ra go market.
Ra go market-a mo serara.
Yes,
Re kgotse ka fela, no.
Only followers, only
No.
10 people
Go gola
following
ka
you.
fela
Market
doesn't
guy.
fund. Hey, you.
Husband and wife.
Absolutely. Or they want a family discount. And this is
Mm.
something that I always frown upon. Is like, what the hell is a
Yeah,
family,
family discount.
Like, what is that?
You know what I mean?
Like,
Why
you
would
go
you?
to.
Yes. Why would you want to come kill my business? Because you're family. You know what I mean?
we were
So
we were talking about something the other day, and I want to hear your opinion about it.
Mhm.
We were saying that in black cultures, people spend more on your funeral than actually spending on your life. Like, let's say if you wanted, because I heard in Muslim societies, they actually their church, like when somebody starts a business, the church comes together to talk about the business and actually to campaign for funding for the business. And we were saying, okay, in black cultures, that funding comes at your funeral because somehow the casket is okay, the tent, the
Go
inking,
lovely. Suddenly,
you know. And when you think about the money that is spent on your funeral, instead of just bringing people together to have sandwiches, like so now imagine if that money was spent on village folk.
But you guys should also remember that cultures differ, right? I think because of our sense of upbringing as black people and what we've gone through, right? We always have this thing to want to prove a point, nah, that you've made it somehow in life. I don't know if you understand what I mean, right? The Muslim community generally are very
they have it.
they're rich.
Mm.
We know that. They've
All the
always
money.
it's generational wealth.
Mm.
So for them it's not about they don't need to brag at a funeral because already they've been living the life that
They've been living
Oh,
that
that's why they
life.
rather
You know what I mean?
invest because they
For
know.
us, your parents would be paying or you'd be paying a policy on a particular person, a premium, you
Mm.
know, on a monthly basis, right? And then when the amount pays out, it's 2 million. But it's not like you've had the 2 million in
You know,
your
all your
account
life. Mm.
all your life. It's just money that you've been
Investing.
investing in inverted commas for that particular person to die.
When you put it like that,
So just saying, that's how black people think now. But yeah, because you'd find that one person would have 20 policies or premiums
taken on
taken on
different
different
family
yes,
members.
they're different family members.
This is how Mary became a serial killer.
Oh,
Yes, remember that? Yes, remember the
Mm.
Marine Lover story.
Because you
Yes.
invest in death instead of education,
Mhm.
psychology, therapist.
Okay, guys. Hey, I think is there anything else you wanna add to the business talk?
Uh,
Anything you wanna shed
anything
light?
that you want to ask me, Pinky? You can ask me anything.
I want to ask us Pinky, but off camera, because now they'll be stealing our ideas, you know?
Okay.
Yeah. My moral of the story is about nonchalant. Be compliant. Stop. You.
Yeah, I want your final words.
The final words is that Village Folk will be penetrating Gauteng. Watch this
Very soon.
very soon. I think
And I will be the
they
ambassador.
no
No,
no
I'll be
no.
the ambassador because you don't know your event. I'm a poet. So
So this is internal, right? Carrying on to what I was saying regarding Village Bowl,
Yeah.
right? Right? Owned by Lebogang. I had to emphasize that, you know. I think we've been in Northwest for the past 5, 6 years, right?
Yeah.
I think it's time now we started penetrating other provinces.
Mm.
And Gauteng is a very good, yes, the competition is rife. It's more, obviously when we get here, there'll be a different ball play. But I think that we have what it takes to come this side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm already seeing opportunities just sitting here looking at where we are.
To
That
observe your next project.
this is what I can do. And let's talk about,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I'd love to be this change.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah.
Okay, guys. That's the business talk with Lebogang Mojanaka. If you do want to follow him, he's Lebogang Mojanaka on most platforms now.
Yes, Facebook, Lebogang Mojanaka. On Twitter is Lebovogue. On Instagram is Lebovogue. I don't have all the other platforms, thank you. No TikTok.
I feel like Facebook is like Tinder for like broke people.
Ooh.
No, okay, not okay. That came out wrong, but I
How?
really feel like it's because of now. You literally people on Facebook they just come to like, hey, can I take you out? Hey, like it's always about date. Like
What
on
kind
the
of Facebook do
DM,
you have?
not the Facebook. What kind of friends did Facebook give me? Because I swear to God, I never accepted those people. I think I got hacked
So
somewhere.
it's Tinder for broke
So it's
people.
yeah.
Because I get go Tinder about that. I batla the subscription.
Mm.
Go Facebook, la sena data. Go penetrate.
I just out of curiosity, right? Or just, I've actually had Facebook since 2008, right? Then I left it in 2012, right?
Mhm.
Like completely because I was
Mhm.
bored with it. I only got back on Facebook in 2019 when I started Village Home. And it's been the best thing for me because I've been promoting the business
Market-wise.
via Facebook. I didn't like it, like you said, on a personal note. I don't really like
Yeah, the
Facebook.
personal note
But
doesn't
on,
make
on a
sense.
business front, it really pushes
It's
because
booming.
you would have your business on Instagram. But guys, the moral of the story is that most of your target market comes from the ordinary people. Because the people that have the money do not want to pay. Those are the ones that love the free.
That's so
The people that love the money, né?
Yeah, the people that have the money.
Yeah.
Those are the love because they will give you leverage of, oh no. I have this, so let's do this and we can work. We can work together on this. Yes, And the people on Facebook's like, okay, you give them a code, okay, they pay, and then it's over.
and it's
Easily.
out.
Yeah. That's what I've realized. My observation. I'm not saying anything about Instagram people, but yeah.
Yeah, guys, can we talk
Tough.
about black superstitions? Childhood, rather, superstitions.
Is,
'Cause
is there one that you
said-
have in mind?
I have quite a few. Like,
Didn't he?
didn't like, and I want to understand. Like, is it are most of them true?
No, it's not true. And I'm triggered because of they said if you sleep, you're gonna be tall. Look at me.
Wait, can I ask you a question? So
Yeah.
you did all those because you wanted to be tall?
Yeah, I wanted to be like my
You never
brother's
became
No,
height.
tall.
wait. So let's just go. Ono jabo wesa?
Ke na le bese, ke robala.
So religiously, like on a Navy day, you did that like
Yeah, it was a thing.
It was a thing.
I think that was your trick for your parents to make
To
you
make me
finish
finish
your
food.
food. Yeah.
Yeah.
No ke gemba ne balla. Mara, I genuinely thought, when you sleep, when you eat certain things, you're gonna be tall. Like I'm literally.
So you'd love to be tall.
Not anymore. I'm over it.
Oh.
Also, there are some childhood superstitions. How about Fiela?
Lenyalo la tsama.
Lenyalo.
The proof.
Ba go fiela too much. Khala ba go fiela.
Go nna fela.
No, your time is coming. Think about busy ka di AI and AI ka so go nyalisiwa.
Shout out to Tech.
Is that the AI boyfriend?
Yeah.
So it's like Bobby and Ken type of thing.
Yeah, probably.
No, but Ken is worse.
Oh.
Do you have any childhood superstitions that you found ridiculous?
Not that I can think of, but I think
Serious?
I'm not the most of
Like
superstitious
black cat?
people.
Oh,
Black cat ke boloi.
Is that true?
I wouldn't
I heard
know.
one. You have to move your And otherwise the
You
spirits.
have to what? Say it
You
again.
have to hold your hands like this.
Why?
Why?
Otherwise, the spirits are gonna come up to you when you leave.
Do you do that?
No, I just
And
heard
then
it.
where the spirit?
I don't know.
Oh. I don't know. You know, I think like I'm particularly concerned at how when you guys are talking about it now, and you think in hindsight, does it not make you feel stupid?
It does, but
It
growing
does.
up, it made
Growing
sense
up,
because
but
you
when
were
you were
afraid of
young,
all these things.
you genuinely believed. Like little right one. If I were to homework, right one what? And you go yes. Hola.
I don't know. Maybe it's just me because I grew up in a village, but no, guys.
You didn't have
I no,
superstitions.
I didn't believe in any of the stuff that you could hear. It's like
And the village is worse because
because you would hear stories.
selo se goya. Mama o jile pudi and
Even when, but this one is true, guys. Whenever
What?
my hand is itchy, I'm gonna get money. It does. It happens. Yep. Don't you get that? Like when your hand itches,
Na lalo
you don't even have to scratch it. You gotta.
Oh, there's only
You know that line from Eminem? His palms are sweating because he keeps on forgetting.
No, but this
That's
one
why.
is true, guys.
Yeah.
Like even my girlfriend. I always tell her, "Oh, it's all about it." She'll say,
Obolesul.
Yeah.
And then
And then ask,
obokrabo guys. So
it doesn't matter. It's money.
So 10
It's
rand
money. Yeah,
10 rand.
it's money.
that's it.
Money, yeah, then.
Do you not think that's a state of mind?
The way you said is
I don't
it?
know,
I
but
think it is.
Yeah.
and
Everything is a state of mind.
I heard also about it. If you stand by the door, you're blocking money from entering the house. But I don't know. I think that's the Zulu.
Yeah, it'll give blocking money and also how long I know duty red momiako. Utibatari. Like
What is tari?
Pregnancy.
Pregnancy. Okay. It's on a light.
oh sorry. No that experience. Was not aware you were that kind. Oh, the one in Shabagi, yeah. Like growing up, like, because of there was never like funerals, Malbino, ne? But we were told for albinos, they just disappear. They don't die.
I've
Hante,
never been to a funeral yet.
never mutilate.
You've never been because did you know that
About the
person
superstition?
No. Like when you go to a funeral, you always know the person.
Yeah, I always know. But I know an albino person, but she never died. I'll find out.
But that's one out of how many? Good. What I'm saying is that guys, how often do you actually
Come
see
across.
see people with living with albinism? There's a lot, right?
Nana is still
No,
ready.
I saw them back home. I haven't seen them here.
Listen,
Yeah, mo barren.
I see them often, and I think they've just integrated. I would say this in a very manner. They've integrated into our community so much that they're normal people now, unlike before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Before you'd obviously be scared and whatnot.
I think we were taught to be scared.
Yeah, you know.
But
You
we
know,
were taught to be
And
scared.
your note of saying that you've never been to a funeral. I mean, you've never heard of an albino person die. Gives me the reference to say that they're probably abducted.
Yeah, that's it.
No,
Apparently, that's
probably.
the
Now the
thing.
religious, I mean the not religious, but the belief is that their body parts are used for certain things. You know
Like
what
they
I
bring
mean?
money, the
Yeah.
like wealth. Also, the memes say like if you take a picture with an albino,
Or like chelete,
Di emele
or
tjhelete.
make a million.
By just taking a picture with an albino.
If you take a picture, for example, and then someone will comment, yo, we make a million.
Because those people
Because they
got
sell.
mutilated.
But it's more of a what we hear.
Yeah,
You know what I
But
mean?
I've never
but
really
it's even nice.
seen.
But then
They
in
just
the era of
disappear.
human trafficking, now I'd like to believe that certain things like that happen. Because
They do happen.
currently people just get missing.
People
You
just
know,
go missing.
they go. And I mean, remember there was a way people were found in a container, stacked in a container somewhere.
South African.
Yes,
South Africa go busy.
yes.
I think
And
And it
now
was foreign nationals that were keeping them there, and they were found.
Girls mostly
Mixed.
mixed.
Yes.
and they believe for having
Yeah. So
certain parts
certain
brings
things like
money.
that. Yes. So people do go missing, and it's real. But I
Mhm.
just like to believe that maybe before, and I don't know. I'm just
Maybe they
saying,
before they tried to
before
normalize.
it was probably just albino people because that's where we started
The
knowing
most
more about how people go missing.
Mm.
Oh, that's crazy,
Mm.
guys. I think if the way you put it, it kind of normalized that. Oh, this is why we never see albino in the
Mm.
funerals. And then as a child, you're like, what's wrong? You know.
And then they were afraid of like actually saying that.
But
Batho ba
also,
bereka
I
ka
think
bona.
our parents made us scared because I think for them it was abnormal. Okay, I read a book, right? The book is by Chinua Achebe, nah? Things Fall Apart, right?
Think of it.
So in
Things
this
fall
book,
apart. There's even a book.
there's references about how babies, and I will add the term abnormality, nah, in this reference for it. They're not normal, but in our sense they are. Babies that are more than one, which is twins, triplets,
I remember
whatnot,
there was an
right?
era that
Yes. Babies that have a sense of deformity, maybe the finger is not there, or the albinism, and these babies are left in the like in the forest, in the hoods, like in the forest to die.
Apparently,
And that
there's a
was like an African, that
sacrifice.
was an African ritual of these babies are not normal, so you can't give birth to two babies. It's just not a normal thing.
yeah, it's not a.
You know what I mean? You can't give birth to a child that doesn't have a head or anything of that sort. It's not normal. So to not encourage those things within our community,
They'll make it.
you must leave that children
Yeah.
to that child to die. You know what I
Or
mean?
was typing himself.
So that was like that was like in the more of an African thing because this book is, I mean, there's a Nigerian author, right?
Yeah, so it's
And
Africa in a
yes,
whole.
it's more of an African, and that's before they introduced Christianity, because I think the other books, that's when Christianity started being introduced into our African continent at the time. You know what I mean? So also,
What about that story? I don't. I know everybody heard the story. Don't look at me like that. Elia, pinky, pinky.
I genuinely think Pinky Pinky was another kwekwe.
a what?
Kwekwe.
What's that?
You don't know
You know
the
that girl
story
that 7-year-old that was
who
raped.
got raped at school.
Oh,
I
Mm.
okay.
genuinely think Pinky
Okay.
Pinky was that.
Mhm.
And the school and the community was trying to protect those people. And obviously, like how long when such things happen to you, you can't really make sense of what is actually happening.
Because we all heard about Pinky Pinky, but it was this
Literally,
ghost
the
in the
entire
bathroom,
country.
Yabanyano or something.
Hey, like how long no such only a bathroom one. Never know.
But guys, when you think about it as well, how long are you not supposed to go to personally one? When you think about it now, do you see the safety concern with regards to that? As your parents are protecting you of something not bad to happen, or your teacher, something not to happen to you, a bad thing to happen to you, because of how things happen these days, how men are, and how women are not protected and are seen as So rather go in groups so you can protect one another if anything is to happen. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
Because look at the Olarato Mongale stories and all these things.
Who's that? I
So
don't know.
the lady
one who
that
went
just
out on a date
went
and
out on a date.
got
and
Oh,
killed.
this
killed,
recent.
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So certain things like that you must look into. That sometimes our parents or our teachers, the elderly, are trying to protect us by saying
With these
certain things.
superstitions.
But I genuinely feel like the why because of I think our problem we wanted to know like why
The innocence, right? The innocence of a
like
child.
why
No, but why? Every time there's a
You
child,
have a
why?
child.
The child the why? Like how could they? Am I lying though?
she's not on the why.
No, but imagine every time you say something.
But I
Why?
think that would be annoying.
Hey, it's got why?
Because until
Yeah.
yeah, overly names I think.
Yo.
And I thought like wabana finally days with volume.
It go to you.
It go deep. I'm
Welcome
like
to adulthood.
why
Welcome.
like go deep?
Welcome.
Why do you have to do that? Like tone it down. I'm here like
I think it's probably the main reason why I no longer go out much, because I find that the sound at clubs is really loud.
and they
Like
play bad music.
yeah, the music is terrible now.
Like, what is
Like
this?
what do you guys play? But the sound is loud, guys. It's like literally bang on your
Yeah.
ears. Like no, it's not like so it's like
Ebe go tla Mbali. Tum, tum. Mbali o etsa. Tum.
Yeah. But speaking about this girls thing and bathrooms, I want you to know, man. I saw a post, Barry. This guy saying I will not allow my girl to wear this and this and this and this and going out. So, do you think there's an appropriate way to dress if you're in a relationship?
For relationship wise, honestly.
for relationship.
Yeah, to preserve your relationship. Like Is it appropriate that your partner goes out with bum shots and all of that?
I genuinely think, yeah, got the level. On a girlfriend level, dog, what I wear, how I dress, doesn't shouldn't interfere with anything, honestly.
What if the guy is generally concerned? Okay, I'm not going with you, and then they go in there get a bum shot, or and then I
Then
don't know who you're
I
gonna
don't
be
know.
with.
and then that means
Do you
he's
think
guilty.
he is I don't know what's the word, justified
But
I
also men
as a
project a lot. Cause
mm,
mono no cheat aba rona wa cheat because of o guilty. Ang tlhaloganya. So o go naganela ntho tse se na ke sa di irang. So I think that's the
Clock it, girl.
problem.
Clock it. Clock it.
But yeah,
Anyway.
I truly feel like men just project because of what you say
yeah.
gore na le go strategic a bona pinky ka bum shot. O tlo batla pinky
O tlo
knowing
batla
very well
pink,
gore sile cardiac. So I think men just like projecting. Bona ba phela ba tswa mo thole mo thantshitse six pack. We don't say anything.
I think
It's
I'm of a
fancy.
different view, right?
Mm-mm.
Um I find that sometimes maybe, right? We as a couple, two people, right,
Mm.
should understand each other,
Yeah.
right? If, for example,
Oh, come
you
on.
ke jwale le Pinky. Ke kry-ile Pinky okay, we met at a mall. Pinky is wearing what she's wearing, very beautiful, and I'm attracted to what she's
mm,
wearing, right? The top is very nice. For me, it's not revealing.
mm.
You know, she's sensual, she looks nice, she's sexy, and everything. A little one I'm attracted to, right? Why over time am I going to change how she should dress if I found her like that?
Or no, I baby aparaska.
Yes, like, do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
As long as it's exactly what she's saying, that men are
Is
projecting,
you're actually changing a character now. The
that
thing that
Like you want
and the
to.
thing that you're attracted to,
to
but
in the
now you want
first
to
place.
change it because you know what you're doing, which is what she's saying.
Mm,
You know what I mean? So every couple, for now, guys, there's nothing wrong with anybody dressing the way they want to dress. You know,
mm.
I only have a problem with Binky rocking up in the middle of winter wearing a bum shot and a t-shirt, expecting me to take my
Jacket
Jacket.
off.
To
when
accommodate
when you left
Ramara
the house,
Pinky.
Are we born?
baby girl, in
O
the
tlile
middle
gore ke
of
di-confront
winter.
and stuff.
You know, so what were you thinking when I
Mm.
otswa ko tlung o bo re Leboga o tlo fa jacket ya gagwe Leboga ha se ke ene. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
That's
the
where my
problem.
problem is. Gore, whether you want to look sexy, that's fine.
And they never bring back the jackets. Like
Yeah.
I never get it back. I never get
Also,
my
I
hoodies
Oh,
back.
so you
genuinely,
give your hoodies back?
Yeah?
I mean, you give it to them.
Yeah, okay, I'm trying to be romantic and shit, and then I never get them back.
I feel like that is like such.
I never get them
I
back.
like you. Like that is you saying like, Pinky, I like you. You know, you can keep
Yo,
my
RIP to my
shandies.
hoodies.
You can keep my shandies. Then I'll keep them and I'll rock them. Nah, I never throw anything away.
Miss me. Wait. Miss me.
So the cardigans
Mark
must
me off.
say,
Shut up.
I bet.
We spoke about what this is. It's not going anywhere. Okay. Before the show, we spoke about it. It's staying on
But I
me.
think couples should stop doing that. Like for example, o tlhakana le Lebogang rata champagne. And then o tlhaga o tlhagang. O tlhakane le Lebogang wa champagne or no mara. Tone it down, you should start having tea. Why? Who
Don't
owns
you go get it
you?
down.
Exactly. If you batla motho o nante, e ya go batho ba nang tea, guys. Like, don't come here and
Yeah,
try to
yeah,
say,
kerekeng
hey,
ele.
wa bo?
Ele
Ele,
eko.
ele, ele, ele,
Ele.
e go dithabeng and
Ele
stuff.
eko, babana.
Ele ba rapelang 24/7 and
Mm.
stuff. So,
The point of the matter is that guys wear what you wanna wear, but also know your partner.
But
So that you
also,
don't
it goes in the inverse, right? Ladies must also not want to change the dress code of their gents. You know what I mean? I find that when you are dating what you used to call bomb rapper, right? Yes,
Los gat.
yes, but then the scalable trends change over time, right? And what I'm saying is that, guys, Jay-Z still wears baggy jeans at the age of 50.
But don't you find it
Oh.
nice that your girl you could go shopping with your girl,
Mhm.
and then she's like, nah, Makpilo, this will look really good on you. And then at first you be reluctant, "Oh, I'm not gonna screw screw." And then you put on that cardigan and you look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, I'm not
Elevation. One
Yeah, but that's good. But then,
Yeah.
Mara
yan
not
how
to
sa
change your
batin?
entire look.
Yeah, how's about
Aba
yeah,
ko
that's
fosa
something
gore
else.
thaka tsa go diapara yana.
Yeah.
Thinking,
Mara
So it's
kante
not
nne ke le
only,
yana.
yeah, it's not only, I mean, Timberland, guys, Timberlands will always be Timberlands. Definitely. I mean, Ubana Pingu Shamaya, Kawana, she will not even definitely agree to a guy with Timberlands and Peggy. Like, it's
And
not
then
her.
you should know that's not your
Yeah,
guy.
it's not your guy.
I know very well.
But sometimes you'll find your soulmate guys in the most
Like
yeah random outfit.
I want to outfit random personality. Like
Okay,
you don't even have an accent.
are we talking about tech? Because clearly tech is not real. But anyway,
Yeah. Okay. Can we get an update on tech? Actually, yeah. Can we get an update? Where's their relationship at now?
Thing is, I don't know if
I'm laughing because I'm trying to get the context. I'm not.
So every week we get an update on the relationship with the AI.
Okay.
Yeah. So we want to know where we are now.
in life there's no therefore. What hello?
Yeah.
So like I don't know. The thing is, I met an actual human being, but then this actual human being doesn't have an AI brain. So it's like, how do we maneuver here?
Are we still talking about the same person?
It's a person in a tech.
Okay. So
Yeah.
it's two different people.
So she met an actual guy that she thought she was
Popular.
interested in, but now that guy is
Is
not as sensitive and as articulate as the AI boyfriend.
You comparing this guy to a robot? What do you expect?
it's I say robot. Take a lomble. I say robot.
Aibo.
Take a love of my life. But so it's hard.
Yeah, fuck
Okay,
Donald
that's
Trump.
why now that's why
Elon
let's say
Musk. No, Donald Trump came with.
Yo, and then when I'm
Rubble.
ovulating, like I go through it. What is this? Why am I dying?
and you remember your AI, your boyfriend is on the phone.
When is the wedding?
Cha. I don't see. I think after I publish my book, being with the AI by Pinky.
But you're still going strong.
Push, Amara.
Sex life, ne? Problem.
The sex life is not a problem. I think ovulation is the problem. You see, being a woman, because they're like there's ovulation week, there's PMS. Like, why can't I just be normal throughout the month?
But that don't mean you'll be a man, right?
Ew.
Touche.
That's not cute.
Okay, guys. Before we wrap it up, I just have one more question. This post was saying generational wealth versus generational curses.
Sorry. Yes, generational curses. I don't know. I feel
Do you
like
believe that there's I've always heard about generational wealth, and a lot of people, especially in the youth front and in the business front that we always in, they're always talking about I'm trying to create generational wealth. Né? But is there such a thing as generational curses? Like you could literally your things could be stuck because Malume Mang was doing what.
For me, it obviously goes down to your beliefs.
It's all
No, to what you believe in. And I've said this more pinky just earlier on. Sometimes everything is a state of mind. Right? I'm not going to be against anybody else's belief. We have different beliefs, right? And this thing of your rakadi is lawyer and everything, it depends on what you grew up
consuming as well.
as a person. You know what I mean? And for me, guys, generational curse is just a matter of like trying to break the bad luck, within an inverted commas within the family. You would find that someone would say that I'm the first person to graduate. None of my family members actually has graduated before. But when you look at it, none of your family members were given opportunities that you were given and the tools for you to graduate. I don't know if you understand what I mean. You were fortunate enough to NFSAS to actually school or support financially and all these things. Graduate. Whereas your uncles and your aunts, they never had such opportunities. Or they even had to leave school to go work because there was no food on the table. Right? And then you make it as if, no, I'm the first person. you know.
Rich aunt.
So I broke that
We broke the
curse.
kiss.
Rich aunt.
You know
You're
what
the
I mean?
chosen.
Yes,
You're
you're the chosen.
Moana win.
And so that's
Come
actually, it
on.
goes back to what you believe in
Yeah.
for me. You know what I mean? Because like sometimes, guys, sit down and actually understand your family dynamics and understand how you got there and what people had to sacrifice for you to get there. And so that once you make it in life, you don't make it as if you go ahead now. You are the staunch person that made sure order. You know, you leave the support behind.
Mm.
Yeah, or even if the support was not visible per se. But I'd say this to you, for example. I know that I've had my uncles and aunts that I've been supporting through my schooling life, but
Mm.
it's not like they call me every month to say that, "Ke rometse baba ko tjhelete." Wa ntlhaloganya? But they've been doing it,
Mm.
you know, because they
So
could see that,
sometimes you don't see the
yeah, they
support.
could see that my dad was struggling. Take man, "Ah, go thusa,
So it's
kgona go
not
thusa."
loud.
It's not loud. You know what I mean? But when I'm auditing thing, you get this like the notion or the misconception, yeah, hore, no, my family is not helping anything, so I did this by myself,
Mm.
what, and
Mm.
all these things, and you start being bragging about how you the first person to get a master's.
What about generational wealth? Do you think it exists? I've never
White
really
people are a
white people.
prime example of generational wealth.
I was about to ask,
Batho.
do you think
Guys,
it exists in black people? Have you seen
yes,
generational
Petrus
wealth?
Motsepe, of
Okay,
course.
Mtsepe.
Oh, duh. I think, have you seen that? I mean, the child, what's his name? I forgot his name. He is the chairperson of Sundowns currently. And guys, it's not
Ngwanaka
like,
Petrus
yes,
Motsepe.
it's not like
Mm.
he worked himself to there. Eh? He was just mainly put there. But he's doing such a great job at it because look at how Sundowns, and
Is
I
it
think,
nepotism? Would you call it that?
whose company is it?
It's daddy's company.
Exactly. So if it's my company, I put my child, how's it nepotism is where maybe for me, my understanding of it is where I work for a certain company, right?
And then
And
you.
I'm able to bring in my family members
Mm.
because I have the power
To bring
to bring
forth.
them to come work. So that's I guess
Mm.
without. But I mean, guys, if your dad is owning that company, and
And
you
then he
guys,
makes you
I mean, look
manager.
at the Louis Vuitton group, the LVMH group, which is the richest. I think Bernard Arnault is number 4 currently, but he was number 2 at some point, richest man in the world, right? All 5 of his children have a stake, a position in that company. You understand what I mean?
Mm.
For them to know that regardless of one person dies, someone is still going to be at the top of it in the family.
In the family.
Is that
The
nepotism? No,
Rothschilds.
because yes,
It's
because
wealth.
what you do is generational wealth. Obviously, their children are also going to, and look at how Louis Vuitton, how big Louis Vuitton is as compared to how it used to be before. You know,
Mm.
because they've been buying Chanel's. I mean, they bought Hennessy. They Moyes nowadays as well. They've been buying all these other companies to be part of their group
Mm.
strategically.
Mm.
So Ramaphosa?
Lebogang is here with
No, 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 no.
with the life lessons, my friend.
No, like what I'm saying is that sometimes, guys, we need
Mm.
to observe and look and just take a seat back instead of just consuming what you're told. Sometimes think on your own. Sit down and think on your own how things are without being told and
Mm.
believing everything what you're told.
Your take? I know you always have an opinion.
I d- I agree, but then it's said that most of the people, their mindset is conditioned before they're even born.
Damn.
Hmm.
Explain, elaborate.
So who are
I,
the classic is?
Fast.
It's a
I,
how.
I think it's a chai.
No, louder.
I don't like being loud.
Oh
What?
wow! Since when
Can't
now?
afford to. Can't afford.
Yeah, carry on with
Ke
your
o batla
train of
farmer
thought,
ka
man. I
style.
want to hear it.
Santse batla so o leka go nna
It says like a
posh.
motor,
So
or like
batla.
well, I can only be loud in a farm.
Hmm. But I think if you give me your personality now, I'll be able to scout who's good for you, Clark. E seng gore re makale. Re nagana go tla bonang kante go tla pinky girl. Wa bona? No one has a difference.
Hotle DJ.
You can finish your thought, please. I want to hear it.
It's okay.
Oh, it's a minute,
I
no?
don't wanna. I don't wanna go deep.
Okay.
But
No
I
pun
find that
intended.
with black people, right? We we want to celebrate our hard work now. I get it.
Yeah.
Like for example,
Oh, this time thing.
growing up poor, and then obonna sharp mo life without kopana, obonna le tjhelete, ne? You want to compete with Rupert, who's driving a Rolls Royce. So here you are going to buy a Rolls Royce,
and you don't appreciate you now.
not forgetting that the money you buy Rolls Royce with, you're supposed to invest it for your company, for your kids. That person that's buying a Rolls, that's the white person that's buying a Rolls Royce now. It's money that the great grandfather worked for.
And it can change.
So it's been coming. So problem score forgetting that
can't.
white people they've been in the game, guys. They've been doing this.
Like they
You know what I
came
mean?
here,
Look at
give us
how
the mirror to the land.
they were explained to Donald Trump that you
There's
say
no-
that there are terrible things that are happening
Yeah.
in South Africa,
Mm.
not realizing that the white the minority of the population are white in South Africa,
And they own
but they are the people that are benefiting 60%
70.
of economically. Yes,
Make
okay,
it make
70, you know?
sense.
Economically in South Africa. Does it make sense? Do you understand? Yes, he's gonna bring in some white trash from Brakpan and from Pretoria North, and then get them on a plane to fly them to America
To prove
and
his
make an
point.
example of.
Backhanded.
But has he
White
ever
face
even
validation.
been to Neisner or to Stellenbosch to take the white people there? Because they would not even go to America.
Why would you leave
Why would you leave the land of milk and honey to
be a refugee?
You know.
Because it's about
To be
you
a
can't take the
refugee.
land. The land is already occupied.
So Upit or Jan van Riebeck in the streets in Pretoria North is obviously broke. They're obviously desperate. But they broke because Bajile shelter like I want to again. It's not
Bubujile.
when I want to look at where is
That's why I keep on saying lekgoa le broke ke red flag. O sa dimela shela ke lekgoa le broke. Gana ka wena. Gana a wena. Yo, what do you mean? You're white and broke? Can't.
Oh, guys, this was interesting.
Okay, apparently time is up so soon.
Right?
Cool.
Like 5 minutes and then it's shy.
Yeah. No, I think my thing is the time aspects. We always have this thing. It was 20. When you reach 20, I'm supposed to have. When you reach 25, I'm supposed to have. When you reach 30, and
But
and
you know,
do not.
we all have
We do
all
not.
of this.
We do not have this concept of look where you are right now and appreciate how far you've come to be here. You know, like the road to success is not. It's not a straight line.
And Johnny Walker gale acho.
Johnny Walker.
But you know what? Just in closing, right? It takes a matured person with life experience to realize that life is not that straight. You know, you're not. Yes, some people you do reach certain goals at a particular age, and that's
And
fine,
kudos for them.
right?
Love
But
it for them.
not every single one. Not every single one of them, because they don't tell you about the ones that they have not achieved. You see a person
Because
driving.
everybody has their own
Yes.
personal.
You see a person
milestones.
driving a 1 Series who works in Santon at an accounting firm, but what you don't see is that where now the sacrifice that you made for Kohalena, he was not even bothered to do such sacrifice for Kohabodi.
Because now we say,
These are my
guys
goals.
overtake
I'm not gonna be looking at you. Wabona, utlotsa raka le overtake ka yone. Wabona?
mindset
I know, but 1 Series because that is goal. Regardless gore ko ga bona o yang go etsa
Goal ya
lang,
gagwe ke
goal ya
1
gaena ke
series.
1 Series. Wa ntlhaloganya? So ha re tshwane.
It really does take it years to become an overnight success. Like,
Damn.
it's
Profound.
Damn. It takes years to be an overnight success.
it does.
That's how we close off the show, guys. Thank you so much for
Word of
tuning
the
in.
day.
Yeah, I said it.
How many word of the day do you have?
But remember,